Okay, so I had an appointment at the Apple store, and as you can see in this picture, they make you wait for the person to come out of the back, and they say, like, go over here to our little seating area. And you can see these chairs, they are not comfortable. That picture of the chairs, right? Like, they're wood, they're hard. And so I thought this would be a good video to show like what to do if you're in this situation. It may not be at the Apple store, but where you have to sit on something kind of low and kind of hard. And there is a right way to do it, I think. So the first thing I want to talk to you about is, like, if you naturally just sit down on something about the height of a chair, your natural position that you want to sit in is sort of like this, right? Which is with your butt kind of rolled back and your your head, your low back curved forward like this. And this you can usually maintain for a little bit, but after a while you do feel like you're slumped and it can hurt your low back a little bit. So what I recommend you doing, and what's interesting about the next position is, I even took a break into this position because the seat was so hard. So what I recommend if you have to sit on something low, like a box like that, and there's no back to lean up against, is that you can sort of sit on the corner like this and bring one leg back, and with bringing this one leg back, this helps, your thigh will actually help pull you forward a little bit. And what you'll do is you'll come up onto your sit bones like this, okay? And then I want you to rock forward onto the front edge of the sit bones, and you'll actually rest into your pelvic floor a little bit. So you'll be in a position where one leg is forward, one leg is back, resting into your pelvic floor, and it allows you to sit a little bit more upright in your low back, especially if you had a sore back. This position is much more comfortable than the first position that I showed you. Now, what I would say, the really hard part about this position is that box had no padding on it at all. So in this position, you do have a little bit of weight in your sit bones, even though you're on the very front of them, but I could still feel it. And after a while, it was starting to get a little bit sore, to be honest with you. Like, that's a lot of pressure on your bone. So like this position, and probably why a lot of people do sit like this, is you actually roll off the sit bones onto more like the padded part of your butt, basically. And it is comfortable to your butt, but not necessarily your back. Then, after a couple minutes, I was like, I didn't like really sitting like this for too long, and I didn't like really sitting like this. So I did what I recommend most people do, is I stood up, right? Like, standing up is always the solution to a bad chair seating situation. So I stood up, but I didn't want to wander too far because I'm always worried that they might, couldn't find me in the store, it's busy, and I'm waiting for the person who I have an appointment with. So I stood up and actually just put my foot up on the box a little bit, like this. So I kind of still staked my place, didn't want anyone to take my seat, but and this allowed me to basically stand for a little bit. And standing is always better than sitting, as long as you don't have to do that for too long. So there's, you could even do this, put your knee on it, but I wouldn't have done that there because it was too hard. So anyway, yeah, so if you find yourself in a situation where you have to sit on something with no back, then it is good to basically try these different positions, and this is the position I recommend. It works great. Like, I could sit like this on a padded thing like this for a while, and then if your seat's hard, you can kind of rock back and forth between those to take pressure off your sit bones. And then, of course, the ultimate solution to most sitting problems is to stand. So if you have any tricky sitting situations, this is something that some patients will bring into me sometimes, is like some sort of situation where they're like, what about this situation, like a bleachers or something like that? Yeah, let us know in the comments, and we'll see if we can answer and find a solution for your sitting problem. So yeah, comment below, and we'll talk to you again soon.